Hey y'all, for today I thought I would show y'all some modified games and some ways to modify other games that are currently not accessible to the blind and visually impaired. These are some of the games that I'll show you how to modify, because I think board games are a great thing to give for Christmas and a great thing to do around Christmas time. And just around the holidays in general. So I thought I'd show y'all how to modify these in case you play with anyone who is blind or visually impaired, or in case you yourself are blind or visually impaired and would like to play these kind of games. So let's get started. Alright, so first up we have Would You Rather. This is actually a card game, but my mom modified it and made it into Braille, and it is now in the form of a little book. We have the pieces just like the card game has. They're different pieces. They have Braille on them to let you know which is which. Although the Braille on mine is a bit dull now, but we have like a number 1 and a number 2 chip. So we have that in here. And then we have the instructions in Braille. And then instead of drawing a card, which is how you would normally play, we just flip to a random page, and there is what would be one print card on the top, and then what represents the other print card on the bottom. And so we just pick one off of the page and read it, and then instead of, if a person gets the question right, instead of them getting a card, they just take the page out of the book, and then they get to keep that, and then we just put them in the book later. They have page numbers, but we don't, like, it doesn't really matter. And so basically, my mom, I believe she used a Braille embosser to do this one, so you could do it with a Perkins, but I wouldn't recommend it. It would take a very long time. But I mean, if you have access to an embosser, or if you have any way of getting access to an embosser, this is a really fun game, and it's in print and in Braille. I don't know if y'all can really see that because of the light flashing, but it's in print and in Braille. That way, if you want to play with someone who is visually impaired and with someone who's sighted at the same time, you have both in the same place, and it makes it really easy rather than having to use two different forms of the game, or having someone read it for the other person. So, alright, next up we have Apples to Apples. This is one of my absolute favorite games other than Quelf, which I don't have modified yet, so I won't be showing that, but this is one of my favorite games, and it is a lot of fun, especially with a large group of people. And so basically, what I did to modify this is I painstakingly brailled these cards. I believe this has 500 cards, so I haven't brailled all of them, but I used a Perkins and then brailled the cards. That way I could read them and other people could read them. And again, these are both in print and in Braille. So that way it's accessible for everyone, and it's a whole lot of fun, and I definitely recommend it. It does take a whole lot of work, but it's worth it, in my opinion. And you can get versions that have less cards too. This is just what I got because I can read the print as well. But I did Braille most of them, and I'll probably Braille more of them over the break. But if you know how to read Braille, it's pretty easy. You'll need someone to read the cards to you if you can't read them yourself. But this is something that I really enjoy, and I highly recommend. And it's not difficult to modify, but it's very time consuming. So, just a heads up. Alright, next we have Othello. This is one of my favorite board games. I've played it for many, many, many years. I love this game, and it's one of the easiest games out of the ones I'm showing you today to modify. So, basically, my mom modified all these, but the game already has raised lines on the board so you can know where to put the pieces. That's just how the game comes. Whoops. Okay. And then, so, for those of you who don't know, the pieces are double-sided, and on one side they're black, and on one side they're white. But they don't feel any different. So, on the side that is white, I don't know if y'all can see that on there, but, my mom basically just put a piece of Velcro. That way, when it is down on the board, next to other pieces, you can tell the difference between the pieces just by touch, rather than having to look at them. So this is this was the most recently modified game, but it's pretty easy, at least compared to the other games that I am showing you today. Alright, lastly, for the games that my mom or I modified is Sorry. This is a game that I grew up with, and I still love today. It's a lot of fun, and it's not too hard to modify. It's just more Velcro, as you saw with Othello. Let me just push this all aside to show you. Alright, so for this, basically what she did is put Velcro on most of the spaces all around the board and in the safety zone, to allow you to know where it is, where to put your piece. The ones that are like the little slides, as you can see here, are not marked. I would recommend using something to mark the lines in between, but also to differentiate between those and then the regular spots, but we don't have that done. Another thing that she did is, it's kind of hard to see, but the discard and draw spaces are also marked in Braille, as well as the home and the start spaces. Again, that's kind of hard to see, but I apologize. To go along with the Velcro on the board, the pieces also have Velcro on the bottoms. It's kind of hard to see, but on the bottoms the pieces also have Velcro. And then we have different shaped ones as well. That way you can differentiate between the two, the types of pieces, and know which one is yours. Another thing that she did is my mom, brailled all of the cards, with what you actually got and then a brief description. So like this one says, sorry, and then it says, move from start, and trade with opponent. So like saying to move one of your pieces from start and trade, or and put it in place of one of your opponent's pieces. And so that's what she did for all of the cards. And the description isn't as detailed as in print, but it's enough that people basically understand what to do, at least enough to play the game. Alright, for this last one, this is actually something we didn't do ourselves, but that you could do. I mean, it's basically what we did with Sorry, but with just regular playing cards. And it has the braille up in the corner, like in both corners, and then it says like 9 and then an S for spades. That way you know the number and the suit that the card is. So you could do this with a Perkins, or you can just go out and buy cards, or like get braille cards already made, which is what we did. They also have braille Uno cards, and possibly Go Fish, but I'm not sure. But these are great because I always love playing cards. My family plays cards a lot, so these come in very handy. Alright y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. If you have any questions about these games and modifications or any other games that you would like to know how to modify, leave them in the comments below. Subscribe for more videos, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see y'all in the next one.